We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Communication happens between CPU and I/O device. Are they synchronized data transfer? Let us see the definition of synchronous data transfer. Synchronous data transfer happens when the CPU and the I/O devices as well as the interface, all of them shares a common pulse. In practical situation, this is a very difficult scenario where the common pulse is applied to all the device. The application of common bus is equals to the assumption that all the devices are working with a same speed, with a same pace, which is not practically feasible. So here comes the second data transfer mode, asynchronous. In asynchronous data transfer, no common single clock pulse is shared between all of them. If I/O device want to communicate with a CPU, there are 2 methods for data transfer. First is the strobe based, second is the handshake based. Let us see all of them in detail. In strobe based method, there can be 2 scenarios. Very first scenario is a source initiated strobe. What is a strobe over here? In the block diagram, you can see that on the left hand side we have a source unit, on the right hand side we have a destination unit. Now source is initiating a strobe. Strobe means a signal. This signal is initially having the value 0. When source wants to generate the strobe signal, suddenly it will raise a peak of the high value. What is the meaning of this? That source wants to share some data with a destination. Now when strobe signal is high, the data available on the data bus is considered as a valid data. Let us understand the same thing with respect to the timing diagram. Over here in the timing diagram, you can see that the data is placed over here. Now when strobe is reaching from 0 to high level, only during this time the data is valid for the destination unit. As soon as the strobe signal is going down or making a negative transition, the data available on the bus is known as a invalid data. So over here the destination can read the data only when the strobe signal is generated by the source and it possesses the value high. What is the limitation of this system? That there is no check on the source side where data has been read successfully or not. Let us see the second perspective of the same method. Second method is a destination initiated strobe, or we cannot use a method word. It is a second scenario. In second scenario, destination is initiating the data communication. So destination will send a strobe signal. You can see that it is in a blue line I have highlighted. When source will receive the strobe signal, it will try to read the data. It may put the data as well. It depends upon the application. Let us see the timing diagram. Again the usage of the strobe is as same. Data will be placed on the bus. It will be considered as a valid data only if strobe is remaining active from on that point of time. As soon as strobe signal is making a negative transition, data becomes invalid to be used. Now the second method for asynchronous data transfer is handshake method. What is there in handshake method? Before discussing the handshake method, we should discuss the limitation of Strobe method. So what is your point, guys? What is the limitation of the previous thing? Yes, in the previous thing there is no acknowledgement from the source and the destination for the successful reception of the data. This will make the system in a delay. As there is no cross check or no acknowledgement, thus both the entity, the source and the destination can be in a dilemma whether the data is received successfully or not. Here comes the concept of handshake. What is the general concept of handshake? If person A meets person B in some party, then person A would like to introduce himself to person B. What it does? It will initiate the handshake. As soon as the person B sees the handshake, person B will respond to the handshake and both of them will do the handshake for few amount of time, and both will acknowledge each other by simple eye mapping. Now the same concept of the general communication we can use in the IO communication. Let us see what happens over here. The block diagram says that as the same as source unit will generate some data valid signal. Based on data valid signal, source unit will put a data on the data bus. Destination will receive a data valid signal. It will read all the data. Once the reading is done, the destination unit will generate acknowledgement message from destination to source. You can see the direction of data acknowledgement signal from destination to source. Now let us see the timing diagram. The data bus contains the data and data is valid if the data valid signal is high. The transition I have already shown to you. The data is accepted, then data acknowledgement signal is generated, and data acknowledgement signal is high, then it indicates the data validity. As soon as validity completes, the data acceptance complete and it generates a data acknowledgement signal. Now let us see the sequence of the events. Whatever I have narrated just now, it is written over here. You can have a look of for 2 seconds. I hope guys it is clear to you. Let us see the pros and cons or the differences of both the method. Now in the first method, which is a strobe based method, as it is a very low level of precision, flexibility and reliability, it is not recommended for any system containing more than n number of IO or for the system working as a server. Now what do we mean by low degree of precision? There is no accurate measure that data has been read successfully by the receiver entity. Low degree of flexibility means there is no acknowledgement from the next party. Reliability, one cannot reliable on the data available on the bus, whether it is a valid data or invalid data, because the reliability is connected with a strobe signal. If strobe signal is switching from 1 to 0, then data on the data bus will become invalid data. Now all the things again add up one more thing, that strobe method can be source initiated or destination initiated. Now all these methods can be converted into the advantage if one will employ handshake mechanism. In handshake mechanism, the user is provided with acknowledgement, so high level of reliability, more flexibility and high level of precision is accomplished. Even if the data is not received after certain time or acknowledgement is not received from the receiver party, then timeout mechanism is also managed in this method. So from both of them, handshake mechanism is widely used. Now, what type of data transfer can happen? As I initially said, they can be asynchronous or synchronous. Now, from asynchronous and synchronous data transfer, they are having two further categories. Asynchronous serial data transfer, where beat by beat data is transferred from receiver to source to receiver or destination. Similarly, data can be transferred in the parallel manner, where all the beats are transferred parallelly. Similarly, synchronous data transfer are divided into two further categories: serial data transfer and parallel data transfer. I hope the basics of serial data transfer and parallel data transfer are clearer to you. Let us go ahead. Now, let us see, as it is very difficult to provide synchronous data transfer between I/O device and CPU. Let us focus on the asynchronous transmission. Now, asynchronous transmission comes up with a two variety. You want to do serial transmission or parallel transmission. Let us see the differences between them. In serial transmission, you need to send data beat, mind my words, data beat, a character at a second, that is a constant rate. While in asynchronous parallel, we can share or we can transmit multiple data beats parallelly. Now, in the asynchronous serial transfer, data can be received at any rate, while in the asynchronous parallel, data will be received at the constant rate. Do you know why? Because all of them has been supplied at the same time, and over here the unit of transmission is a bit, and in the asynchronous parallel the unit of transfer is a byte. Now, in the asynchronous serial transfer, we need to take one small headache, that we need to indicate to the receiver that the particular bit indicates a starting of the message. So that is known as a start bit, and we need to supply the last bit as a end bit, that is known as a stop bit. So in between that the message will be available. So receiver has to remove the first bit and the last bit to perceive the complete message. While in the parallel asynchronous transmission, we do not require any kind of the start-stop mechanism. The asynchronous serial transmission will take more time, as it will transfer beat by beat. Thus, this delayed transmission is applied for the lower speed I/O devices, while the asynchronous parallel transfer is applied for the high speed transmission devices. Now, this is the pictorial view for the data transmission using the serial communication. The start bit is 1, as you can see in the timing diagram. The message is 11000010, and the last bit is the stop bit. So this is how each data is made up, and it is known as a frame. This complete wave is known as a frame, where first bit is a start bit and a last bit is a stop bit. Stop bit can be 0 or 1. It depends upon the mutual consent between the receiver and the source. Now, a character can be detected by the receiver from the acknowledgement of these 4 rules. When data are not being sent, the link is kept in the state 1, that is idle. The initiation of the character transmission is detected by the start bit, which is always 0. Now, when source wants to initiate, source will put a data bit 0 in the serial communication. So, at the receiver end, receiver can indicate or understand that yes, the data is on the way. So, next bit will be the part of the data. The character bit are always followed by the start bit, as I just said, and after the last bit a stop bit is sent. The stop bit can be the 0 or 1, depends upon the mutual consent. After receiving the stop bit, the communication data bus or the channel will again possess the initial 1 state, that is the ideal state. Now for connecting all the devices